So I already recorded 2 free agency videos, but everything I said is outdated, and every time I tried to put it up, something new happened. So hopefully that doesn't happen with this one. It seems like the Lakers free agency period has kind of died down a little bit, and they're probably still going to do something else in free agency, but I think like everything important that's happened can hopefully stay there, and hopefully everything will be good by when I put this up. So let's hope. So if you're new to this channel, subscribe and also like the video because it helps me out, and I also appreciate it. So today, I'm going to be talking about the Lakers. The Lakers, I feel like they've had the best free agency of any team, just in relation to the expectations they had. Because when they traded for Westbrook, everyone was like, oh, the floor spacing completely sucks. They only had 4 people on contract, and everyone was super skeptical of this team. But the Lakers have pretty much addressed every single issue they've had, and they've exceeded my expectations in free agency. I think they've signed 7 new people, and I mean, besides for maybe a few critiques of these people, I think they're all really good signings. So, I mean, we can get into every single one. So, 4 of these people are former Lakers. The former Lakers are Wayne Ellington, Trevor Ariza, Kent Bazemore, and Dwight Howard. And then they signed 3 other players. They signed Malik Monk, Kendrick Nunn, and Carmelo Anthony. So, I mean, these are all really good signings, and the price point they got most of these players on is ridiculous. Like, a ton of people took pay cuts so they can play with this team and they can contend. So, I mean, I guess we can start with Dwight Howard. So, Dwight Howard's like 36 right now, and he had a good season for the Sixers last year. I don't know why he left the Lakers because, I mean, this is now his 3rd time on the Lakers, and everyone, when he left, they're like, oh, he was such a critical part of their championship team, their energy, their intensity, and especially their defense. He was a good energy guy, backup center, really good defensively, can give you a little bit offensively. So I think this is a good signing. He's obviously not going to start. He obviously can't space the floor because he's Dwight Howard, statistically one of the worst free throw shooters of all time, and just doesn't shoot threes. But that doesn't matter. You don't need spacing in every single aspect because you need someone that can dominate in the paint like he can in his 5 or 10 minute rotations that he'll get. So he'll be behind either Marc Gasol, Anthony Davis at the center. So this is a good signing. I'm glad they brought him back. It's his 3rd time on the Lakers. This is going to be good. Happy they brought him back. Probably the best backup center in the league last year. The next signing is Trevor Ariza. He's also 36, bringing in some of the Lakers are retirement home jokes. And yeah, that's true. Kind of funny, but I mean, Trevor Ariza is a good signing. He was utilized in a weird way with the Heat last year, but you can play him at the small forward or power forward position. He might start. It's probably between him and Carmelo to start. But if you want to start Ariza, you're going to get probably less shooting than you're going to get with Carmelo, but you're also going to get more defense. So it's just about what the Lakers want to do. So Trevor Ariza, he's kind of been a journeyman. I think this is his 11th team. And, I mean, this is a good signing. I have no complaints with this one. He can shoot pretty well. He's really good on defense. Pretty good in rotation on defense. He'll probably get a good 25 minutes per game. I like this signing. The next signing, you have Wayne Ellington, and he's probably one of my favorite signings. Might be my favorite signing from the Lakers because they got him for a 1-year veteran minimum contract, which is a little undervalued for him. The thing with Wayne Ellington is he's not really like just a spot up catch and shoot guy. He's really active off of the ball. He can run off of screens. He can swirl around people. And just his creativity off the ball is good. He's really good in movement with threes. He can catch it off of a screen and be moving and knock it down. He can shoot pretty well off of the dribble too. Like he can catch, he can pump fake, move to the side, and score. And he's decent at getting to the rim, but that's not really his strong suit. He will be just a catch and shoot 3-point guy for them, but also will be really active in moving off of screens. I think this is a really good signing. I don't know how many minutes he's going to get because the Lakers have a defensive identity that he doesn't really fit. He's a really not that good of a defender, one of the worst in the league. He just provides you 3-point shooting and offense. So I see him getting 20 or 25 minutes a game. He could start at the shooting guard position next to Westbrook, but that would be a little weird fit. If I were the Lakers, I would start him just because you need shooting in that starting lineup. So, I mean, this is a good signing. The Lakers also signed Kent Bazemore, who is a good defender, unlike Wayne Ellington. Pretty active on the defensive end, gets a good amount of steals. He can also shoot pretty well. I think if he knows his role on the Lakers and doesn't try and like do too much, and can just spot up in the corner, because he'll get a lot of open looks. The thing with all these shooters is their shooting percentage will probably go up just because of the attention that Anthony Davis, LeBron, and Westbrook gets. And all three of them are good passers, so they can hit the open man when they need to. So these people's shooting percentage will definitely go up. Kent Bazemore, pretty solid shooter. He's been a little inconsistent at points in his career, but I think like if he's just a catch and shoot guy for them coming off of the bench, probably 15, 20 minutes per game, then he'll be in a good position for them. So the next person the Lakers signed was Carmelo Anthony. I think Carmelo Anthony is a really good pickup just because he's been linked to the Lakers for a while. He also has played with Westbrook before, and he's really good friends with LeBron, so obviously he wants to play with him. He is 37, and he can't really give you much defense, but his scoring makes up for it. He is a shot creator. He's one of the best triple threat players we've seen in NBA history. He'll be getting a lot of open looks, as all of the other guys will. I think his volume's definitely going to go down a little bit compared to what it was on the Blazers because he didn't really have as many people to share the ball with. But he can give you probably 10 points a night, and he can explode whenever he needs to. So this is a good signing for them. He is getting up there in age, but with his play style, it doesn't really concern me that he's 37 because the way he plays, he's not like barreling to the rim on every possession, and he doesn't need to really be super agile or anything. He just needs to be able to score in the triple threat and score off of catch and shoot opportunities. So this is a good signing. I also like that one. And another really underrated one. The Lakers signed Malik Monk of the Charlotte Hornets. I'm pretty sure it was like a $1.7 million deal, which is extremely undervalued for him. But also, as is with a lot of these people, they want to join the Lakers. Malik Monk knows that the Lakers need shooting and the opportunities he's going to get from LeBron, Westbrook, and Anthony Davis kicking out to him will be good. He's never been a good three-point shooter until last year. If my memory is correct, he went from like 28% the year before last to 40% last year. He can do a little bit off the dribble, but he's also just kind of a catch-and-shoot guy. And his role changed a lot on the Hornets last year from being more of like a shot creator to like a spot-up guy. And he shot 40% from three last year, and he's going to get even more open looks. So if he can stay around that 40% mark, that's going to be really valuable for the Lakers. And the fact that he signed for $1.7 million is crazy, and obviously it helps with their salary cap situation. The next signing for the Lakers, and I think this is the last one to talk about generally, is Kendrick Nunn. So Kendrick Nunn was a really old rookie on the Heat, and his first year on the Heat, he was in contention for Rookie of the Year for a little while. But then in the playoffs, when the Heat were making their run in the bubble, they didn't play him for a while, and this was because he wasn't really that good on defense, and he was kind of a liability on that aspect. But he has gotten a little better defensively. Still not the best. Still doesn't really fit that Lakers defensive identity. But that's also okay because you still have Anthony Davis on the floor. You still have LeBron on the floor. You still have Dwight Howard. You still have Kent Bazemore, who's a good defender, Trevor Ariza. So this Lakers team is still really good defensively. But you do bring in Kendrick Nunn, who's a backup point guard, who also was undervalued. He probably should have gotten more money. But yeah, he's I think 25 or 26, and they signed him. They signed him with the mid-level exception, which is really good. So he can be a shot creator for you. He doesn't really do much else besides just create opportunities for himself. He's had a couple lobs throughout the year to Bam Adebayo when he was in as point guard. But, I mean, he'll be really good off the bench. He could also, I don't know if he could play alongside Westbrook because Westbrook needs the ball and so does Kendrick Nunn to be effective. So I don't know if they're going to be in the lineup together. But, I mean, this is a good signing. 2 years, $10 million. That is really an underrated deal. I mean, he can create off the bench. He can give you 15 a night. This is a solid signing. So, I mean, with the Lakers, you have completely addressed the floor spacing issue because now if we look through all the shooters on the team, you got Wayne Ellington who can shoot. LeBron who's pretty decent at shooting. Anthony Davis can stretch the floor and shoot. You've got, they also signed Talen Horton-Tucker. They re-signed him. It was like 3 years. I think he got like $10 million a year. He could still be used in a trade with Dennis Schroeder. But, yeah, it would be a sign-and trade if they were to get rid of Talen Horton-Tucker and Dennis Schroeder. They're still talking about getting Buddy Hield, which would be crazy if they were able to pull that off. And Taylor Horton-Tucker, he's only 20 years old. He can create for himself. He's really crafty. And he didn't even get that much of an opportunity last year, but whenever he did, and especially in the Summer League, he was putting up like 25 a night in the Summer League last year. So, I mean, if you keep Taylor Horton-Tucker, he's a really important piece for this team in the future. And just, yeah, that's a good signing. So, Lakers shooters, got off track. You've got Wayne Ellington's a good shooter. LeBron's a solid shooter. Anthony Davis can space the floor and shoot. Marc Gasol's a good shooter as a stretch five. Taylor Horton-Tucker's a good shooter. Trevor Ariza's a good shooter. Carmelo's a good shooter. Kendrick Nunn got a little better shooting, but he's still not the best. Kent Bazemore's a good shooter. Malik Monk is a good shooter. And that's 7 or 8 people that are good shooters on your team. And you've got one of the best transition offenses in the league with LeBron, AD, and Westbrook. And a decent amount of these guys can just run and jump and be quick in transition. So this is a really good team. If I were to construct a starting lineup for this team, because I'm looking at the depth chart and they've got it all wrong, I'd probably go, at point guard you have Westbrook, obviously. At shooting guard they have Wayne Ellington, which I sort of agree with, but you could also have Malik Monk at your shooting guard because he's better defensively. And then at small forward they have LeBron. I'd probably move him to power forward and then move Anthony Davis to center. And then at small forward, you can choose between Trevor Ariza and Carmelo Anthony. And both of those can play both forward positions, so that gives you some options. So if I were to construct a starting lineup, I'd probably go Westbrook at point guard, Malik Monk at shooting guard. I would put Trevor Ariza at small forward, but also you'd want to play Anthony a lot. So it'd be kind of like a Lou Williams thing. Not a Lou Williams thing. It'd be kind of like a Lou Williams thing where like someone else starts, but Melo gets a lot of minutes. So, yeah, you got Westbrook, then you got Malik Monk, then you've got Trevor Ariza, then at power forward you have LeBron, and at center you have Anthony Davis. So with that team, a decent amount of them can shoot. You can space the floor with Anthony Davis at center, and it's a good defensive lineup too. So I'm really impressed with what the Lakers did. I mean, they've exceeded my expectations completely. They might be the deepest team in the league too. So, I mean, I'm just in shock about what they did. Great offseason so far for them. Let's see what else they do. That's it for now. See ya.